So over the course of the last couple of weeks, WikiLeaks has continued to release John Podesta's emails. Now, Bernie Sanders was name-dropped in a lot of these emails, and we've seen some really troubling revelations about Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. Now, Bernie Sanders actually responded to this, and seeing that he was name-dropped, this is what he had to say. Trust me, if they went into our emails, I suppose, which may happen, who knows, I'm sure there would be statements that would be less than flattering about, the Clinton staff. That's what happens in campaigns. The way they work is very, very different than the way we work, Sanders told the Post. We did not have a committee deciding what kind of jokes I would be telling. The way they do politics is very different. Was I shocked to find out that the DNC was partial toward Clinton? Not exactly. That's something we knew from day one. Now look, admittedly, I was offended by what they said about Bernie Sanders. I mean, it seems like they were very condescending toward him and his supporters. They called his Wall Street plan dumb, which reveals more about them than it does about Bernie Sanders. But look, if you did look through Bernie Sanders' emails, I'm sure you would hear him shit-talking Hillary Clinton. But would you find what we found out about Hillary Clinton? Probably not, because Bernie Sanders, he's not running a foundation that's influencing his actions as a government official. He is not colluding with the media in order to sabotage Hillary Clinton's campaign. So if he talks shit about Hillary Clinton, that's one thing. And I fully expect that to be in Bernie Sanders' emails if you did in fact dig through it. But what's really problematic is the corruption that we found within Hillary Clinton's emails. I mean, just to give you some examples here, we found evidence of collusion between Clinton's campaign and various media outlets and journalists. We found evidence of pay-to-play deals between foreign governments and the Clinton Foundation. We found evidence that Clinton's campaign was in contact with the Department of Justice during their investigation into her emails. We found evidence that the FBI's deputy director was looking out for her during the investigation. We also found evidence that Hillary Clinton's campaign was in favor of voter suppression tactics, such as closed primaries in order to help Clinton win. So you can kind of isolate certain things they said about Bernie Sanders that were just rude and offensive, but this is a lot more troubling, and by just avoiding this type of revelations, I think Bernie Sanders is really doing a disservice to all of his followers and supporters, because you have to call it like you see it. If there's indefensible things about Hillary Clinton, then you cannot defend her for it. So by just avoiding it altogether, I think that that's a problem. I think Bernie Sanders needs to wrestle with what's found in these emails. I mean, he endorsed her, so is he going to talk about the corruption of the Clinton Foundation? Is he going to talk about how her campaign manager was in contact with the Department of Justice during her FBI investigation? I mean, they claim that they were impartial. They claim that she was not treated any differently than any other citizen. So why would we avoid the substance of what was in these emails just to appease Hillary Clinton? By saying that it was only pettiness and them name-calling Bernie Sanders, that's different than corruption, Bernie. So if we did look through Bernie Sanders' emails, we wouldn't find evidence of corruption because Bernie Sanders is not corrupt. We already knew that there was this conflict of interest between Hillary Clinton and her foundation before we dug into her emails. But the fact that the emails just kind of confirms what we already know, it just validates our criticism about Hillary Clinton. It grants legitimacy to people who were worried about this connection that big money does and the influence it has over Hillary Clinton. So Bernie Sanders, he's really downplaying something that's very problematic here. And I think that simply chalking the WikiLeaks revelations up to her smack-talking Bernie does a disservice to what's really in these emails. The emails reveal a lot more than what you're contending they reveal, Bernie, and I think you know that. So I think you have to, even though you endorsed Hillary Clinton, you have to be realistic. Hillary Clinton is a very flawed candidate. You can make the lesser of two evils argument. I get that. That's rational. That makes sense to me, even though I disagree with it. But by just completely avoiding the corruption that we found in these emails, it's really frustrating that Bernie Sanders, of all people, would do that just to defend Hillary Clinton.